Welcome to Cash in the Cyber Sheets. I'm your host, James Bowers, and together we'll work with business leaders and industry experts to dive into the misunderstood business of cybersecurity and compliance to learn how to start making money from being secure and compliant. Welcome to Cash in the Cyber Sheets. Welcome back to Cash in the Cyber Sheets. I'm your host, James Bowers, Chief Security and Compliance Officer here at Input Output. We have the very patriotic Bryan Barnhart here with us today with Infiltration Labs. Makes sense. You were in law enforcement. I don't know if I've ever actually said it. Thank you for all your service. I give you a hard time a lot, but
well, thank you. I just read somebody that commented about that. It's very awkward. You don't know what to say, right? When someone says thank you for your service, it's like, thank you.
Well, what do you say?
I guess that's the I get it. Right? I understand.
Thank you, yeah. or my, I don't know if my pleasure. I don't know. I mean, what do you say when somebody says you're very attractive? Well, you probably don't hear that a lot. Who?
Yes.
I don't know how I'd respond.
I've never heard that. What is that? What did that phrase even mean?
Yeah, that would. Your wife is with you for the jokes.
But she's in the next room laughing right now. She's like, did somebody say what?
Yeah, same with my wife. No, very cool to have you back on. All right, just catching up. We were actually riffing a little bit on what we were talking about, dogs, wolves, everything, then started recording. But talking about how I almost got locked out of Keeper, and you were talking about how your wife got a new phone, and I guess she's trying to transfer over all of the like authenticators and everything. That's supposed to be easy to swap. But
in theory. Yeah.
Now
in theory.
Yeah, I don't want to tell your story. You know, all yours.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't have a ton. We're still right. It's one of those things where it's been a busy week for both of us. So she currently has two phones, one that has some of the authenticators and one that doesn't. That's actually the new working phone. But I know when I switched my phone, right, it's jumping through hoops. And if I remember correctly, there was a point where I had to go in and just cancel in Office 365, right? Basically close out that authentication method and then create a new one, right? And rescan the QR code. I'm sure, right? Again, I'm not an IT guy, so there may be some other efficient ways, but I do know for a fact that it's not. I like to consider myself semi-technical, and it was a struggle for me when I moved from one phone to the other to get the authenticator, right? Because obviously everybody uses something different. So I've got the Google authenticator, I've got the Microsoft authenticator, I've got the LastPass app, right? That's almost a comedy of error sometimes, right? When that account closes out, then you need to put in your username and password, but the strong password that you use is stored in your password manager.
In your biometrics.
Well, yeah, right. So I know, like with my LastPass account, I have the biometrics, right? So the Face ID, but from time to time, that must expire. And then you have to re-authenticate, right, by putting in the password. And it's an extremely long, 100% not rememberable password. Rememberable. Not sure which one you used there.
No, that's a good new word. We'll start putting that in.
Yeah, we're going to use that one.
Yeah.
So it just creates that weird.
Well, it's a nasty catch-22. So, I talked about it on an Alone podcast. It was very lonely. But actually was getting somebody set up in Keeper security. We use Keeper, don't market it a lot, but do set that up for clients, help them manage it. And going to sign in with the administrative account, which I don't typically use, but I do remember the password, didn't work. Multiple iterations, multiple fat fingering it, had the arthritis thing, whatever. Figured it was just fat fingers on the keyboard. Finally got to the point to where it's throttling, saying you can't try again for 16 minutes. Like, this is going the wrong way. Okay, I'm going to use the break glass account because absolutely need a break glass account. I go to sign in with that. Hey, you need to reset your password. Okay, go to reset the password. Oh, we need to do this from a keeper instance that's authenticated.
Of course.
No,
Yeah.
this is the break glass. Oh, all you need to do is do you want us to send a push to where you're already signed in? Do you want to use a two-factor from a device that's logged in? And like now, this catch-22 had to start going through the backup MFA codes to. I'm not going to get into all the details, but basically had to kind of like hijack it to get it to let me in to reset the password to then sign in. And it illustrates this really bad catch-22 and like a serious single point of failure that nobody thinks about, like with the authenticator. And it's happened with Microsoft. Microsoft says, okay, you just set up the new phone, everything transfers. 50%, maybe on a great transfer, it's 80% of those work. I've never had more than half transfer over to where, like you said, now I've got to sign into the account to reset the 2FA, but I can't sign in without the 2FA.
Without getting
I
in.
need to reset. So if I don't have another administrator that can get in, I'm up
potentially SOL. Yeah.
You're at completely SOL. That's that's one reason why I always keep a backup phone. So like when I do a new phone, I don't give them my old phone. Okay, this one's going to stay just as a backup. If that one dies, I can just use this, all my authenticators. But I started, don't look where I hide this. We'll blur that out. I started using I think we talked about it, the YubiKeys.
YubiKey, yeah.
Because this little guy, you can make backups. So if you can't just do a direct copy, but when you're setting it up, you can set up multiple ones and just keep one put away. So the YubiKey I found is right now my favorite way to do the 2FA. One, I can just do the touch. Even if I'm doing the code with it, I can do a password so it doesn't just display all the codes, but I can show the codes on any device. So it's not tied to a device. It's just tied to that key. And then if I need to share a two-factor in some cases with some shared account or something, I can create a duplicate for like other team members.
Interesting. I'll have to talk with you more about that offline. I'd like to set some sort of a backup like that.
Yeah. All of my critical accounts, I've done I think you can do 32 OTPs on one YubiKey. I think that's right, because that's what bits and bytes. The memory coding. But yeah, for all of the accounts, and it's I don't know if you've noticed, but like each platform keeps changing things. So here I've got like this break glass account. But now the new way that they manage user accounts is you have to sign in so many days, it will revoke the account. Or it has to be from an authenticated browser. Or list any number of things that it just won't support, like an actual break glass account.
Right. Which undermines the whole reason for
completely
that. That's the whole point, is if something goes sideways, I need. It's funny you say that about the second device. So I've got the second device, and obviously I'm an Apple guy, so I've got a bunch of different iDevices. But I went to re-sign into an account last month, and if I remember correctly, I'm ad-libbing here. I got the pop-up message telling me that it sent. Click the number on the YouTube app on the device, the authenticating device. So I'm literally looking at like my iPhone. I'm looking at my backup iPhone. I'm like, I've got like 2 iPads, right?
Yeah,
3 MacBooks. I'm like, where'd it go? Right? Like, where did it go? So that was, like you said, like had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get into, I think it was Gmail or Google or YouTube, whatever it was, but to get into whatever that account was to change that, right? And I don't remember setting it up to be exclusive to a certain device. So somewhere along the way, It must have just, hey, this is your authenticating device,
Yeah.
which I think turned out to be like a random iPad that I have. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's not where I want codes to go.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to have that in my hands to open up YouTube and click yes or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
And
It's
and this is what we do, right? This is what you and I do,
yeah.
and it's hard.
It's
It's
very
tough.
difficult to manage.
You know, and I get it. Listen, security, it shouldn't be super easy, right? Or it's probably never going to be super easy. But if it's this tough, if there's this many hurdles and hoops for us to get through, your average user, it's a
Can't do
non-starter.
it.
Yeah.
No, and I even find myself at a point to where, like with certain platforms, certain accounts, like, well, I'd really like to fully lock down everything, IP address and MFA and every other control. But God, if I need to get in there or something
Yeah.
hiccups, what if my IP address changes? Or it doesn't, fully recognize the device, or that MFA token has some sort of a hiccup, or there's just something in their logic steps, or they throw in a new thing that says you have to do it from a device that's signed in 90 days,
Yeah.
or
That
have an
happened to me some months
administrator
back.
unlock it. Um, so now I feel like we've talked about how, like, a lot of things, it's sliding the other way. It's doing the same thing with a lot of the security stuff where we're just trying to bolt on all this bullshit. But what's really happening is it's making it to where you've almost got to leave certain accounts kind of open, or constantly logging in with them to make sure they work.
Yeah.
Then if I'm doing that, what if my system's compromised? Now that, like, secure account has logged in on a system that was compromised. It's just,
Did we talk a few months back or last year? Did we talk about my what's it called? My cold wallet, my cold crypto wallet fiasco? The whole security through obscurity and right not usable is, so I
yeah.
purchased a nano ledger cold storage wallet a bunch of years back when I first got my Bitcoin, right? So what was that, like 2016, 2017, whatever it was, somewhere in that time frame. And in my mind, right, I got the wallet on, I got the information on there. I put it in the safe, right? It was cool to play with initially, but I'm not sitting there playing with the Bitcoin every single day. So it goes in my safe. And it was a couple of years later where I'm like, oh man, Bitcoin blew up. I wonder what I've got. So it turns out that as the updates came out, or the upgrades for that device, the firmware updates, there was a point where if you hadn't updated it, it was bricked, which makes no sense, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
still confused by that, because there was no option to slowly update each one. So I think I spun my wheels for a week, had a small panic, and then I realized, wait a minute, I've got the, what do you call it, the mnemonic, so I can obviously recover my Bitcoin. But I was mad. To be fair to the Nano Ledger companies, they sent me two Nanos, new ones, for free, because I described to them the issue. But it goes back to like my whole point, similar to a break glass account. To me, having a cold storage was like having a safe deposit box. I shouldn't
Yeah.
need to update it constantly. I understand it's, the electronic world, things, right? There's vulnerabilities, but it shouldn't brick the device, right? I should be able to store it away for 10, 15 years and still plug it into a computer and
Mhm.
access the data that's on there. And that was not the case. So that burned me on
Yeah.
that, right? Or turned my opinion on cold storage.
There was I can't even remember the initiative now. Um, but it was between Microsoft and a lot of other companies where they basically came out and said, we need to figure something out, because in 50 years we're not going to have access to any of this data. It's it's going to be deteriorated, or all the systems are going to be reading things in different ways that we won't be able to pull it up. And maybe not a big deal for, like, Word documents, Okay, the font's a little bit different. The spacing is different in this document. The cells don't line up. But in like a reactor schematics, now if that's a dotted red line rather than a straight red line, or now it's a purple line, that's a
It can be a problem.
that's a pretty big problem. That's like a whole like bomb situation. Um, and I haven't heard anything about that anymore. Like that's just kind of completely gone away. Like it doesn't matter. And it's the same thing with the cold storage. Like I can't set any of this aside. Like it's good for a few years. As soon as things change, like now I can't pull this up. I don't know. I feel like an old man. I feel like more and more of an old man every day. Like I feel like there's all those YouTube videos out there. If you want to go watch them, they're actually some of them are kind of funny, some of them are kind of wild. That like the world ended in 1998, or when they turn on CERN, and started smashing the particles together.
Oh,
I
don't know.
2000 something.
Yeah.
People saying like, oh, the world ended then, and now we're in like a different universe. And maybe I feel like the world ended or everything shifted after the HTC Incredible phone. I feel like that was the pinnacle of like usability, and everything just like meshed together. You hit one button in an email and oh, you're going to go see Bryan? Well, here's the route to his house. You're already in the app. You don't need to do all kinds of other stuff.
Wait, what phone was this?
It was the HTC Incredible. And I remember the sales guy said, "You're going to like this phone. It's incredible." That's not just a clever name. And everything, it felt like an iPhone, like people feel like an iPhone should be. Everything just worked.
Yeah. I'm not going to place blame on anybody in particular. Somebody convinced me that I needed to get rid of all of my old electronics a couple of years back. And I held on to it for so long. I had like the brick phone, the old, not StarTAC. It was the Motorola, but it was the flip.
Oh, the like gray one with the big battery and the little wire that came up.
That's the one. I had that. I had a zip drive. I had a bunch of old electronics, and it made sense at the time. It was what literally you have two bins just full of electronics that you're never going to do anything with.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I got rid of them. And then literally within that year, I went to one of the local PC repair places. I'm like, genius. On the wall, you had a big, was it like a plexiglass like display, I guess we'll call it. And it was just all old electronic devices. Some of them were complete and some of them were in various stages of like, being broken down. But he had them like mounted as art. And I'm like, oh, that's genius. And I'm looking at some of the stuff. I'm like, there's things that they did not have that I had. And I'm like, that'd have been cool for my office, right? To have like a display. It wouldn't have been as big as theirs because it was a PC repair company. But I'm like, oh, that would have been cool to have all of the old.
The progression.
Yeah.
And you can see like the phones used to be really big. Then they started getting smaller.
And
then
now
people realized you
could
watch porn on them, and they started the screen.
Is that what it is?
Bigger,
Is it the
bigger,
porn thing?
bigger and bigger. They say it's not, but I feel like it is.
Sex. So I still have. Everybody teases me. I've got. Can't tell them the video here. It's the iPhone 13 mini. So it's like, what was the old phone? The iPhone SE, I think.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a little guy. I don't need a big phone. But I need a new phone, and I have to upgrade to the bigger phone, and I hate it. My wife just got the Pro Max. I'm like, this is terrible.
So
it's a tablet.
We've got the Pro Max.
That's a cool tablet. Which one's that?
Yeah, right. I like it for the extra. It's the battery, is why I went with it. I'd like the smaller phone though, because I'm the same way. I'm more aerodynamic, compact.
Or afraid of heights. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
carry on like it's nice. And I like the smaller phones. More than a few times doing scrolling, it slipped and like right in the face, and it wakes you up. But like everything now, even apps, like, all right, I just want to click and get the email address from this email. I just want to copy it so I can paste it over here to set up an event or something. It's like 3 or 4 clicks. It used to just be one click. Everything's like 3 or 4 clicks, or taking you through another app, or
Oh,
making you
right.
sign up to something, and it's just
Yeah.
in the amount of processing power in the phones. Now I'm getting in the rant. The amount of processing power is all just to be able to skim our data, because it's not making the phone any faster for us.
No, it doesn't do anything cool. Like my phone, yeah, doesn't do anything different. My
Nothing
iPhone
different.
13 is no different from
Nope.
the 10 that I had or whatever it was called.
They can say it does all kinds of stuff. I mean, the camera's a little better. You know, we noticed that, but other than that, no difference.
Right.
The old phones don't work as good because they brick those.
I'm a firm believer. I know they deny it, but I'm a firm believer.
They got nailed in France for it, didn't they?
For like slowing down the phones or something like that. Or
Yeah. Apple.
it's just funny. It seems like, right, here's my inner conspiracy theorist, conspiracist coming out in me. It seems like whenever a new phone is released, I start having challenges with my phone. Maybe it's just a mental thing.
Yeah, this has been going back since like 2000. Um, Apple got nailed with a class action over it.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Ongoing investigation in 2025. We still can't tell. Just turn on an old phone. Can you actually get it? I've got an old I don't know, what is it? The Apple, it's a screen computer all in one. It takes like 20 minutes to load. No reason for it.
So I stopped updating. I have an old Mac from 2016, and I still use it for some things. But yeah, it takes a long time to log into it for it to boot, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
What's
What are you
different?
doing?
What's different? Because I'm not doing the updates anymore, right? Like,
And like, all right,
which
I
is
won't
dumb,
load
right? People are like, oh, I
any
would
of
do the
I won't
updates
load
because
any
I
of
don't
the
want
new
the problem.
software.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do stuff just on here, just all local stuff. And as soon as it gets that first update, it just crawls. Just crawls.
Yeah. Well, that happened to me when I bought I say a couple of years ago, it was more than a couple of years ago. I bought a new, call it a server, just a workstation, a forensic workstation. Came with Windows 10 installed, free update, right? It was like, oh, you're eligible for Windows 11. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Updated to Windows 11, moving the mouse, everything just bogged down. I mean, it became, honest to goodness, just unusable. I'm like, well, this is not
I think there's a
going to
lot
work.
to their credit that not everybody's standing behind, the curtain laughing, big time evil laugh. I think a lot of it is just laziness. Now systems have, gigabytes worth of RAM. I don't need to optimize my code. I can put it together. There's more than enough horsepower to manage this on a newer device. On an old device, it's gonna crawl. Because it's just nothing's being optimized. The code has so much bloat in it. So I think there's some of that.
Well, I'm talking about going from 10 to 11. So updating
Yeah.
to the latest and greatest just bogged the whole computer down.
Yeah.
So I had to revert back to 10.
I mean, this was a long way around, but this all goes to the same thing with the password issues and everything else. Just so much is changing. So many like little tweaks, so many hands in the cookie jar between your OS platform, your device, the platform that you're trying to sign into. Any integrations just so many things all trying to come together and handshake. It's too much to keep track of. And things just keep breaking. I think we alluded to it on another call, that the issue with AI. AI is really cool, but it's getting to a point to where you can't really manage the integration and what does it have access to, what doesn't it have access to, and now all of our data, all your data belongs to us. It's just all out there. And for companies that we have to manage the suppliers real tightly, like medical device, anybody with a ISO 9001 certification for like manufacturing, for structured, for quality management systems. It's almost like every 2 or 3 days, some terms of service have changed. Now you have to go through all of that to see, okay, how are you changing the integration? Are you changing what information you're accessing? You are. Now we got to do a full change review. Now we got to bring the entire change team together. And it's just all these little changes are having these like massive ripple effects in all these companies, and just churning money, just wasting time and resources on bullshit that doesn't matter to help other companies capture data for marketing points.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all it comes down to.
I was going to say a lot of the changes aren't useful.
No.
Or at least not useful to the end user. Most of them.
I would be interested to start writing down maybe a month or two, maybe over a quarter, how many changes that you've noticed have been actually useful.
Yeah, you know what? You just said that, and I just thought of, I'm going to start a podcast. It's going to be called The Digital Curmudgeon. I'm just going to complain about all the things I don't like.
Yeah, and show the kids' faces that are getting too close to my lawn.
The digital curmudgeon.
I can't really think of any updates lately that I've been like, you know what, this was useful. This fixed something, or this made something better. I definitely know of lots of updates where I don't notice any change. So like maybe a security update, or okay, now this doesn't work as good. Why isn't this working?
Yeah.
I used to be able to do this, now I can't. Or now this is broken.
That's probably the biggest issue. Right? I'm not gonna say that happens all the time, but it happens more frequently for me than it should, where an update and all of a sudden something just, well, what was it? Wasn't it just earlier this year or last year where Microsoft Teams literally just stopped working for me? I went from a meeting today, and then tomorrow, right, or the next day, had a meeting, and Teams just wouldn't load. And the only change was I updated my Mac.
Well, it's even down to to video games. Trying to play Minecraft with my kids. All right, we're not going to pay for Realms anymore because like we weren't using that enough to pay for a monthly subscription. Turn that off. Okay, we'll just do a local server. Can't get it set up. Just will not work. Well, will not negotiate. Oh, this account, and just all types of little barriers, and make sure you sign in here and make sure you do this. Oh, you have some sort of privacy setting that won't allow this. We won't tell you what it is. So read through like the 75 settings that there are and turn them on and off one at a time, or some combination, to be able to figure out why this won't work. That's all it is. And it's just even down to that, to where doing a big house cleaning, pulled out all of the Super Nintendo, all of my old games, started going to start selling all of those because now they're actually, people are buying them worth a lot of money. And there's a part of me
because
that's
they just work.
Because they just work. You have to blow on it.
I'm just going to say, in worst case, you got to pop it out.
You got to pop it out, prime it a little bit, but that's it. You don't have to sign up for a subscription. You don't have to give a user account that now is another password and MFA and shit you have to remember. You just
and you didn't have to update it. You plugged it in.
You never had to update it.
You popped in the cartridge, and think about it. Right now, but we're talking like 20, 30 years later, maybe more. You can turn that thing on, plug it in, pop in a game, and it's going to work just like it did 20, 30 years ago.
Yep.
Right? No different. It's going to look exactly like it did 20 or 30 years ago.
Half the games from 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
That's probably okay. That's probably a high number, but a good deal of games from even a decade ago don't really work because there's no server to support them, or you can't sign into the service to authenticate it.
Oh.
And going forward,
Gotcha.
in the
I'm
next
talking about
10
like
years,
the old Nintendo, the old
Atari
like
the old
2600
Nintendo games.
You
Those
pull one of
all
those
work.
out, it just works.
You look back a decade, there's already a big chunk that don't work. You look a decade forward, the games from today, like all of them you have to sign in, you have to create an account. Now they're talking about, well, if you buy it, that doesn't really mean ownership, which is that's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
I mean, just all of it, like even with the kids, to where, okay, I just spent like an entire day trying to fix my keeper, getting back into that, fix all this stuff. Please, sir, may I have some more? Can I do this with some video games, like at the end of the day? Oh, and the washer's not working because it didn't get like it got some sort of an update. So now I need to like troubleshoot that. Finally, at the end of the day, it's been like 2 weeks. I'm just going to sit down and play some games. Can't do that. This game needs a 10 gig update.
It just reminded me. So the other night, my wife and I, we ordered food and we just wanted to have like a chill night, right? Netflix and chill, literally. Turn the TV on. First thing that pops up, right? Message. Oh, you need to update the television. Blah blah. Please don't turn it off. And I was like, the update. Finally, it's done. Right. Click on the YouTube app, or not YouTube. What is it? It was either Apple or Netflix app. That needs an update. I was like, oh. Right. And every now and then, it'll do the update, and then you click on it, and then you got to sign back in.
Sign in.
Like, oh, yeah. My God, you're like, I just wanted to watch a show. Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch a quick movie to decompress.
Can you review the terms and conditions?
Right.
And
click agree.
And to get my password for it, well, all right, let me go get my phone. Let me sign in
Yes.
the keeper. Let me go get my
that I was trying to avoid.
2FA device. You plug that in and do it. Oh, I need to update my password for keeper. Let me do that. Let me store that in a safe place because I can't lose that one. All right, now I can get into keeper. Now let me do it for. It's just multiple steps.
Yep. So not last week when that happened, but some months back, what you just described was kind of what happened. And it hit the point where I'm like, I think I got bent out of shape. And I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to watch it. We're done. Read a book. Read a book. We're not watching the show.
Yeah, I'm not watching
the show. I'm not doing it.
I actually went and canceled the subscription on one platform. It's like, I want to see what's on here. It's got the movie. Oh, I've got to sign in and do it. You know what? F it. Done. I'm done with it.
I discovered a month or two ago, to my surprise, I'm like, what did we do? Right? Because I realized I'm seeing all these charges and I'm like, oh, we're subscribed to Apple TV Plus. What's the difference? I thought like we purchased the Apple TV. I thought that was it. So we're subscribed to Apple TV Plus. And then we're subscribed to Max Plus. And then we're subscribed to Paramount Plus. And I'm like, aren't these free stations? But why do we have all these subscriptions? I'm like, do we need these? Why did we buy this? Was there a show we were watching and we just blindly clicked accept? I don't know. But yeah.
With how much
jumped off the
I'm right there with you. With how much we watch, I've been even getting to the point to where we just purchase it on like Fandango, which used to be Voodoo. I'll just buy it and own it. And I'm even getting to the point to where I just kind of feel like ordering up the Blu-rays and just keeping a library.
There you go.
Can't take that away until you update and break the device. I think that's a good spot to stop it.
This is definitely the curmudgeon episode.
Yeah, we will continue our rant of all the things we don't like throw in comments to things that have aggravated you. You know what? I would love to hear in comments an update that actually did a good thing. Not a security update, but an update from somebody where you went in and said, holy hell, this is working better, or I really like what they did here. I'm going to think
you're
about
going
it
to get
for
some
the whole week.
developer.
I can't think about it.
Some developer's going to respond with some long
You know what?
explanation.
I
for
would
updates.
I would even love to hear it. What's the WIFM for me as a user? What's in it for me? How did it make my experience as a user better? That's what I would like to hear. I wonder how many of those we can get. I'm sure not a whole lot. Bryan, thanks for joining, man. Always good having you on. And
Thanks for
we'll do
having me
another one.
again.
Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget, click that subscribe button, leave us a review, and share it with your network. Remember, security and compliance aren't just about avoiding risk. They're about unlocking your business's full potential. So stay secure, stay compliant, and we'll catch you next week on Cash in the Cyber Sheets. Goodbye for now.